Welcome Kasturians. We are back with yet another video of chapter 2 history, that is socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution. So let's start. In the last video we have discussed, as a result of the civil war that was fought between the Bolsheviks, that is the Reds, the socialist revolutionaries, that is the Greens, and the pro-Tsarists or the conservatives, that is the Whites. So as a result of these wars, the Bolsheviks, they were able to control most of the Russian Empire, and they carved out the so-called USSR, that is the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, in December 1922. After this, the attempts to create a socialistic order in Russia were made. The Bolsheviks, they kept industries and banks nationalized even during the civil war, and due to the permission granted to the peasants to cultivate the land, the production increased, and the Bolshevik regime, they used a process of centralized planning. As a result of this centralized planning, the prices of all the goods, they were fixed to promote industrial growth, and this centralized planning led to rapid construction and industrialization. And ultimately the economic growth model was achieved by introduction of two 5-year plans, first from 1927 to 1932, and the second one being incorporated during the time period of 1933 to 1938. An extended schooling system was also developed, and even the factory workers and peasants, they were allowed to enter in the universities and continue with their studies. Such type of arrangements were made by the Bolshevik government. Crèches were established in factories for the women to keep their children, especially the women workers. Cheap public health care was provided. Model living quarters were set up for workers. After the death of Lenin, it was Stalin who was heading the party, and he believed that rich peasants and traders, they used to stock the supplies to create shortage, and that's how they can create more profit for themselves. So he emphasized on collectivization, and he thought that collectivization was the need of the hour. So he introduced the concept of collectivization, in which the entire land, especially the small holdings, land holdings which the peasants or farmers were cultivating, they were brought under strict control. And from 1929, the Bolshevik party, it forced all the peasants to cultivate in collective farms. The bulk of land and implements were transferred to the ownership of collective farms. The peasants, they worked on the land, and the profit was shared between the peasants. Those peasants who resisted this collectivization, they were punished and they were deported or exiled. Also, Stalin worked for elimination of the kulaks. Kulaks, that is those peasants who were owners of large land holdings, or those who were rich peasants. So these kulaks, they were thought of to be a hurdle in bringing about economic development through increase in agricultural production. So he took some serious steps or harsh steps to eliminate the kulaks, and that's why the collectivization program was launched in 1929. The Bolshevik model, it was extended to different countries. In many countries, communist parties, they were formed, but the view was different. The way the Bolsheviks, they took power, these people in most countries, they disapproved the way. But in order to create or in order to search for the possibility of a workers' state, so many countries they saw communist parties arising in them. The Bolsheviks they encouraged the people from different colonial countries to follow their experiment, and as a result many non-Russian people they came and participated in the conference of the peoples, and they founded a Comintern, that is an international union of pro-Bolshevik socialist parties. Some of these non-Russians they even received education in the USSR's Communist University of the Workers of East. So by the time of the outbreak of Second World War, socialism became a global influential factor because of the USSR, but due to the backward country becoming a great power, the industries and agriculture they developed, and the poor they were being fed, but the essential freedom were denied to the citizens, and the repressive policies were adopted to carry out the developmental projects, and this all created a defame for USSR, and by the end of 20th century the international reputation of USSR as a socialist country it declined totally. That's all we have in this video, and that is the end of the chapter also. Thank you and have a nice day.